This show is part of the HeadStuff podcast network.
Lovely stuff.
Hey, lovely, lovely.
I tell you what, though, folks, that's bloody nice. That is bloody lovely.
Lovely Holland. Lovely touch. Lovely Holland. Lovely touch.
Disclaimer. The following episode was recorded ages ago. Like a month and a half ago or something, I'm not really sure. The reason why we're putting out such a smelly old episode this week is because Justine got COVID after attending a horse fight in Clonmel. Some of the references to festivals such as forbidden fruit and cat laughs may seem confusing to you. But we hope this will not impede your enjoyment of the show. Thank you. Second disclaimer. Justine was not actually at a horse fight. The idea of Justine attending some sort of equine death match was purely made up for comedic effect. She actually got COVID in a very, very boring way. Thank you.
When you wear jeans with a massive hole in the knee, do you just have to shave the knee?
I do if it's winter.
You
In the
just-
summer, I might shave the whole thing anyway because there's a chance I'll be wearing shorts.
The chance the trousers might come off somehow.
This is it.
Some are loving, having a blast.
I will never forget when I was so innocent and not understanding the world of lovemaking. I had brought a fellow human, a man, back to my house. And I was like 22, I want to say. And we were watching YouTube videos on my bed on my laptop.
Ooh, foreplay.
Really hot and heavy. Like I was showing him like...
Does he Charlie bit me finger?
Like genuinely what I was showing him, like. And then he was like, oh, it's just my jeans, they're wet because it had been raining. He was like, I might take them off. I was like, no, I don't mind. And he
Sorry, you're
kept
saying like, I don't mind if you wear wet jeans.
on the bed.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I was like, let's get into the bed because it's cold. This is what I said. And he goes, oh, my jeans are wet though, I should probably take them off. He's trying to be cool and smooth.
Yes.
I'm like, oh no, I don't care at all.
Why are your big dirty wet jeans in my bed? I don't mind at all.
He eventually had to give up and just accept that, oh, she has no idea what I'm trying to do. And I'm telling you, about 6 years later, I sat bolt right up in the bed about 4 a.m. I just had this realization of like, oh my God, he was trying to tell me to take his trousers
That
off.
was like when Dougal realises those women were in the nip.
I'm telling you, it was that delayed of a reaction. It took me about 7 years.
I wouldn't mind, out of all uncomfortable trousers to be wet, jeans
Jeans are the
has
worst.
to be the worst.
Yeah.
Um,
This
you're-
was back in the day, you know, when everyone had them, like they were all scraggly, like you were walking on them.
Yeah,
They're
you're
really
soaking up.
ratty.
You're soaking up like rotten liquids off the streets of Dublin.
I was so innocent, you won't believe.
That's a ridiculous level of innocent.
And that was me when I was 23. Like I really was a late bloomer. You wouldn't believe. Still blooming.
Still blooming, mad. You're very welcome to another episode of The Lovely Show with me, Kevin McGahern.
And me, Justine Stafford.
Justine, you were recently at a festival.
Yes, Queen. So are you?
You're at Forbidden Fruit.
I was, yes. And I honestly have come to the realization I love a day festival because you go home to your own bed and you can wear your wet jeans in your own bed, do whatever you want.
And nobody tells you what to do.
Nobody tells you what to do. I love it. I suppose now I'm 30, just the idea of having to camp over in a tent is possibly the worst concept to me.
Yeah.
I was never a fan of it. I've never enjoyed camping at festivals anyway, but now I'm like, the idea that you can just wander on home whenever you want. Class.
So, see, at the same time, a lot of the fun of the festival for me was the
Wandering.
was the wandering through
Campsites.
woods and then collapsing into a tent. I could sleep anywhere. I've slept under pool tables. I've slept under lorries
Yes.
on gravel.
That's
And then it was at a biker rally. And then the
Wow.
next morning I was awoken by the lorry driving off. So all I could see was like the roof moving towards, like away from me.
was a close call, Kevin.
It was a close call.
But see, do you not find that weird now, the concept of that today? Because someone could tweet being like, Kevin McGahern ended up back in our campsite. He pissed on the side of the tent, like, didn't know where he was.
I mean,
I get that fear hugely.
I think since I've kids, definitely. But before this, I liked the idea of maintaining a reputation as a bit of a party animal.
Yeah, I know. I think you've always, I don't know anyone that wouldn't think that. Like, you know, Kevin McGahern, party animal. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want to be a party daddy.
No, do you not think, like, if you found out that your dad, if I saw not videos where he probably didn't even exist back then, but
It'd have to be like a Super 8 camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely. But like the idea of someone, because I had a horrible moment once before where a guy I was in school with mentioned that I was in his class, and he's like, Justine, is her dad Justin? He's like, yeah. And he's like, oh Jesus.
Famously uncreative Justin Stafford.
And the father goes, Jesus, he was an awful ladies' man back in the day. Yeah.
Oh,
Had an
wow.
earring, a hoop earring,
Hoop earring.
smoked fags.
Sounds like a pirate.
Yeah, well, he was spent a lot of time at sea, but I don't
He
think
had a
that's
parrot on
relevant.
his shoulder. All the girls loved parrots' earrings and one blackened tooth.
But well, the peg leg as well. It was a novelty. But
So you're basically your dad with an E.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Like a good festival.
Oh my God, I am. But you know, I love that.
If you gave Justine's dad a pill, he'd basically be Justine.
That's a terrifying thought. But I love my name, and I love that it's just my dad with an E. I love
Yeah.
that. Now, it doesn't come in handy because Dad will open all my posts and be like, oh, I thought it said Justin. I'm like, I'm sure you did.
Apparently I have to go down to a gynecologist next week for some sort of schmear test.
Oh, God. Yeah, you know, do you ever see those pranks? You'd love to like do a fake letter and send it to yourself about like your like adoption or something insane that your parent
yeah.
then opens is like, oh my God, what?
How are you going to convince your parents that you were adopted? You could do a switcheroo baby job.
Yes.
Turns out there was a mistake. Your baby was swapped 30 years ago. in
I am the
Nobber
cut
Hospital.
of my father. Anyone that says it, like, you're the image, there's no way they're believing that.
Well, you could say that maybe you just copied his style. You're like, I wasn't so enamored of my dad that I just copied his style. That's why you're wearing a waistcoat and a nice blue shirt.
I'm getting the pirate vibes going. Yeah.
So, other aspects of festivals you like and dislike?
So, yeah, I suppose the thing I always fear is, and me and my friend were talking about this, we're like, are we dressed a bit, we're showing a bit too much skin, like, you know? And then you get to a festival and you realise, Jesus, you could be wearing nothing at all and no one will pass any remarks. I just lack confidence in myself, body confidence, that I wish I wasn't so insecure, because I see people in my class, you do that, you live your life. I wish I could.
I did notice the last couple of festivals I was at. I've been going to festivals for, God, maybe 20 years. So when I was a teenager, and it was kind of a hangover from the 90s, all the girls dressed like lads. Because kind of grungy rock bands were still big. So all the girls dressed in like, you know, flannel shirts or ripped jeans, shapeless clothing.
Yeah.
And the coolest girls dressed like lads. And lads just dressed like lads, obviously, as well.
Let's not be crazy.
And everyone drank pints. But now I've
What
noticed...
festival are we talking about here? Like Witness?
Like Witness, Oxygen. And now I've noticed at festival, all the lads just don't wear shirts and they have amazing chests.
Yeah.
The good thing is there's no queue for the beer because they just drink fucking
White Claw.
skinny bitches, like, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, the girls dress in like belly tops, like
That's incredible.
tassely tops. What do you call them?
Yeah, nipple tassels even.
Nipple
You
tassels
see them,
sometimes.
you do. They'd be floating about.
So everyone's just showing off their bad for the gram.
Yeah.
Whereas like when I was a teenager, nobody had a good body. Everyone's
No.
body looked like shit.
I mean, I would now.
But then when you got somebody and you took off all their man clothes, it would be amazing. Because you're like, oh my God, your
it's like
body.
unwrapping a present.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in Bali last year, like that was like being on Love Island. Everyone there, like the strip
it.
of like pubs, there was a gym at the end of the strip because these people were like obsessed with how they looked. Everyone, like, honestly, the sun was beating down, but their teeth were shining brighter, every single person.
Wow.
And there was one of the nights we were all in a nightclub, and I'd had a few drinks, and I know there was an awful taste of cunty off of the drinks because I started just going up to lads telling them, oh, would you ever fuck off? I was like, look at you, you're perfect, like. And then he was like to me, you're beautiful in your own way. I'm like, oh, don't insult me.
Wow.
Don't. I was like, I don't
I can tell you got a
need
great
this.
personality.
I honestly, but like, I'd have no interest in that. I couldn't be with someone like that because they're so obsessed with it. Like these lads were, I couldn't. Like, fair play to them. I just could not be arsed with that level of commitment of like upkeep of your body that you can't enjoy your holiday.
You can't enjoy a taco fries or a big pint.
No.
Have you seen there's an Irish guy on the Malta Love Island?
No.
So Malta has a Love Island. Like there's like 40 Love
course
Islands
they do.
all over the world.
Yeah.
I want one like on the west of Ireland.
Yeah, well, they did the whole Gra and Ra thing.
Yeah, something like that. But this guy's called Jenko, and he's from Ireland, and he's in the Maltese Love Island, and he was quoted saying like, "My ideal girl is blonde and petite," and I was like, "That's just like a non-racist way of saying like, I'm just looking for a tiny white woman, please."
One of the worst. I was honestly.
Imagine if you said that. It's like, I'm just looking for a tiny white woman. Everyone would be like, well, you can't say that.
No.
Oh, sorry. Blonde and petite. Yeah, that's
Blonde
fine.
and petite, yeah,
That's
no.
fine.
Like, I was talking to a friend who had gone on a date with a kind of guy that would be, all about body image and all that crack. And I honestly still feel sick at what she told me of why he ended it with her, because they'd gone on like 4 or 5 dates. And then at some point they were talking about like, the future, do you want kids and stuff? And she had said, yeah, like my sister, she's after having a baby, like, and I kind of like the idea of that. And he ended it with her because like, I'm sorry, just the image of you being pregnant and like being very overweight, I just couldn't. He's like, and I'm just being honest with you, I just couldn't deal with that, and I just can't get that image out of my head. He fucking said that to her, and I'm like, that is one of the sickest, most horrible things.
Oh wow, he's. I love how he can say something horrible and say, I'm just being
no,
honest.
No, that's he justified. I'm like, I'm actually such a great person.
Would you prefer if I lied? It's like, I kind of prefer if you didn't think that.
Yeah, like that is horrific.
I'm against sort of the continuation of the human species and woman's part of that.
That you
what
would
a
be
weird.
That your body would change and not be flat. Your stomach would not be flat anymore.
Where am I supposed to grow the fetus? In a fucking shoebox?
But like, I was like, I cannot believe, and I don't know. There's sometimes I think it's upsetting that some people's viewpoints are still so backwards and so toxic. I really thought we were like getting past this, and it's shitty that this stuff still exists.
Yeah, that man seems tainted by the internet.
But like, yeah. So at the festival at the weekend, it was lovely to. Actually, I just wore jeans. I was like, I'm not arsed getting involved in the whole spectacle of it all. I mean, I was watching the style coming in. There was like a mix of people in GAA jerseys, class, love that. With like just boots, nothing else, class. Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't like GAA jerseys at a festival.
I found a retro Meath key pack jersey. We're talking the 90s here. And I had to go up and be like, lad, love it, respect, class.
I don't. It's just the idea of like, right, I'm leaving Meath. And I'm going to go to a festival in Dublin. But you know what I'd love to? I'd love to talk to other people from Meath. I'd love to wear some sort of beacon to attract people who are just from where I'm from. It's like literally anything other than a GA jersey for me. It puts me well. It puts me well off. I wouldn't go near somebody wearing a GA jersey on holidays or at a festival.
I just thought it was done. No, I agree on holidays. I'm like, Anna, come on, you put it away now. Maybe one day at the pool, I might.
Maybe one day at the pool. A GA jersey is the worst thing to wear in hot weather as well.
Yeah, no, they're terrible
like
for that.
Scratchy, polyestery kind of awfulness.
I remember being down in the country in a county I won't name, but I honestly feel like this place has never recovered since the collapse, because
I thought you said the clap.
Probably.
This county got the clap. The entire county got the clap.
But like everyone was just wearing GA jerseys and like leather jackets over it on nights out in the nightclub.
Yeah.
In the nightclub, that's where I was like, nah, this isn't
Go
right.
and buy a nice shirt for yourself.
Honestly,
you look
Jesus.
lovely in a shirt, lads.
And this was like men and women. I was like, Anna, come on, lads, come on.
Have you seen? We mentioned Love Island earlier. Have you seen I Kissed a Girl?
I've heard about this.
Yeah, so it's like lesbian version of.
I was like, I heard of it. Yeah.
It's the lesbian version of Love Island.
Right.
My wife was watching at the moment, and I was struck by just how different it is to Love Island. And I was like, I don't think it's going to be as much crack because girls are way better at like explaining truthfully how they feel at all times.
Yeah.
And a lot of the crack in Love Island is just like men making really stupid mistakes.
Yeah, entirely.
So the girls are like, okay, this is exactly how I feel right now, and I'm just going to be honest with you. And the other girl's like, oh my God, thank you for being so honest. This is exactly how I feel. I think going forward, we're really going to make a lot of progress. Whereas like all I was thinking of was Maura and Tom when Maura Higgins was on. And do you remember Tom? He had her in the bag. Like the ball was in front of the net, and she was like, we're going on a date, Tom. We've kissed 3 times. It's going to be great. And he just turned to the lads and he was like, be interesting to see now if she's all mouth. And the lads are like, hey. And Maura's like, what was that you just said? Oh no, what's that? What was that you just said there? I just talking to the. What did you say though? I just said. I just said it'd be interesting if you were all mouth. And he goes, why the fuck would you say that? Fuck off. You're a follower, Tom. You're a fucking follower. And she rinsed him.
Oh, it was amazing.
What do you expect me to do? Bring you back into the back and suck you off, is it? And all the girls are like, holy fuck. Like, you wouldn't get that on
No, you're not
I
going
Kissed
to
a Girl.
get that. No. Yeah, that's definitely, you're going to
Like, I think it's great for progress, but
Sure.
not for crack.
Not for crack. For,
They're too
entertaining
emotionally
viewing.
developed.
Yeah. No, but it's and it always blows my mind when you look at like the Love Island of just how some lads still think. I'm like, seriously? Mother of God, I thought we were past this. Like that guy saying that to my friend, I'm like, are you for real? Like,
Yeah.
where in the name of... And again, it's like, just being honest,
I'm just being honest, I'm a cunt.
Yeah.
This show is part of HeadStuff Podcasts. Here's another show you might like.
Hi, sorry. Oh God, I didn't mean to interrupt your podcast. Yes. Sorry, I'm young.
Yes, I'm hot and I'm gay and we're young hot guys.
Yes, yeah.
Really apologise for interrupting, but we have our own podcast.
Yes, it's also on the HeadStuff Podcast Network. Sorry for interrupting, but it's really good. And
Yeah, I didn't want to say this, but it's actually really good. Really funny.
My mum says so.
We are three guys, but we're not real blokey. Do you know what I mean? We're soft and friendly and nice.
exactly like this timid request to ask you to listen to our podcast. Exactly.
Yeah.
We're not going to bash you over the head.
No.
We're approachable men.
Yeah. So listen, when you're finished this one, don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a good part coming up.
But if you don't, we will bash you over the head. I know people. Anyway, enjoy the podcast.
No threat.
Lovely stuff.
Tell you what happened to me walking into Forbidden Fruit. That bag, I had a little backpack there. You see the size of it there. It's not a big bag.
No,
They wouldn't
you-
let me in with it. They would
come
not let
on.
me in. So what I had to do was I had to bloody like tie it to my chest essentially and put my jacket over it.
To make it look pregnant.
Not even on my back. Like that would have been a great idea.
Sorry,
no,
I thought you flipped around the front.
no, not even. I just
So you looked like you had a hunchback.
Yeah,
So you
pretty much.
thought like, well, as a woman, I've got two options here. I can look pregnant or I can look like fucking Quasimodo.
well, I can't look pregnant because that guy is never going to be attracted to me who dumped my friend.
Fuck him.
No,
But he is
I-
going to be attracted to fucking the hunchback in Notre Dame.
Of course. So that bag, I strapped it really tight to my back and put my jacket over it. They didn't even pat me down. I got in with it.
Genius.
So I could have put anything in there. I had little like cans. Didn't even
Could
bother
have put a
taking
bomb
them.
in there.
I could have.
Yeah. Have you any tips for festivals?
Yeah, I think be practical in what you wear because
Yeah.
I know, and I've made that mistake.
The tendency is to dress for the gram,
For the gram,
but you're going to feel like shit.
20 minutes in,
Yeah.
Get your photo done and then change if that's
Yeah.
what you want to do. Because no one I'll tell you something. I think the misconception is as well of like, I'm going to look unreal. I'm going to really stand out in this outfit. No, you are not. Look around you. You're in a sea of people that are like going for, Ireland's Next Top Model if there was ever such a show.
Yeah.
That's what you're competing against. Don't waste your time.
Yeah.
Know the league you're in and just maintain it because you want to have the crack and not be, mascara running, everything, your outfit falling apart, glitter everywhere. You have a glitterist all of a sudden because it gets fucking everywhere. Jesus, for weeks. Like, it's there.
Really?
Oh, for weeks. So don't waste your time.
Well, so it's a
that.
little disco ball.
Little disco ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think the glitter would help a fella find it, but here we are.
No, you need glow in the dark paint or something like that. Or that neon paint and have a backlight in the bedroom.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
There you go,
There
Pete.
you go now. That tip, yeah. Now, obviously, food is so expensive, but I love going to all the carts, all the vans at a festival.
You tend to go for ones that don't have a big queue, so you end up eating something mental.
So one of the best things I ever seen, not at the food stall, but at the pint section, I was like, you are going to run a business someday. There's a lad going to the front, he'd buy 4 and he was standing at the end of the queue selling them each pint for like €2 extra.
Oh, that's good.
The length of the queue, I fucking would have bought them now. Only I had already bought mine. I was like, that's genius. Love
Yeah.
that. But when it comes to food, yeah, you go to the one that doesn't have a queue. But also, I like to take the rule on board of when you're at a festival, eat whatever you want because calories don't count because you are walking that off.
Yeah.
You are walking non-stop.
Or dancing it off.
Dancing, walking, everything. I'm like, class. So calories don't count. So I'm like, I'm going for the dirtiest
And
meal.
you kind of only eat once a day as well.
You would think that, but when I have a load of pints, I'm like a Hoover and it's like a bottomless pit. You saw me. I went from one takeaway.
You did a bang bang.
I did a bang bang. And I do a bang
Justine,
bang bang bang.
We left Whelan's. What was that after? Was that after Bureau de Change?
Yes.
And so we were all going to get food, and we had a lovely burrito. And then Justine's like, right, that was lovely. We'll head down now to Charlie's. Yeah, we'll get an old pork belly soup. I was like, what are you on about? He's like, bang bang, hey. We do the bang bang. I was like, what the fuck is bang bang? He's like, you know the two takeaways. This is how Justine talks. Like,
Completely.
this is how Justine talks after a record pints. You do two takeaways, one big go away, bang bang. I was like, all right, Justine, I'm going to fucking bed. Good luck.
Close my eyes and it's like I'm talking. I hear myself sitting beside me. Wow. Yeah, no, totally. So I am like a bottomless pit when I'm drunk. So
That's astounding.
yeah, no, it's a skill that I'm not very proud of, really. But
I'm not saying I could do it, but it would be like work to me.
Oh yeah, but I put in the hours. I do. I put in that time. Jesus, being in a job interview now. I put in the hours.
I'm actually very impressed.
Thank you very much.
Very impressed.
No, I did do that on a date, and like I was impressed. First date, we went for pints, and then afterwards went to two. No, I went for a burrito, and then I went for a Subway because they were right next door to each other.
Oh my! A burrito is such a dense log of food. It's like an elephant's shit of meat and rice.
Oh, it's amazing. But again, I don't know what pints do to me, but it's like cancels out any feeling of fullness. And the way a Labrador never feels full. That's kind of the effect
true?
pints. Yeah.
You're not thinking of goldfish, no?
No, I'm thinking Labradors because we have one at home, and my God, it's a bin. Honestly, God.
My God, it's a bin to it is. There's no feeding that dog at all.
There is no filling that dog. You feed him, but there's no filling him.
Wow.
Unbelievable. So I think that's, yeah.
So if you were at a tapas restaurant, that'd be a nightmare too.
Oh, absolutely outstanding. It's the best. And I always...
the bill is 600 euros.
Jeez, that's cheap this time. God, what was it the last time I was in here? I had to take out a mortgage.
We'll split the bill, will we? Well, Justine, you ate 47 things. I just had the meatballs and the prawns.
Yeah, no, you're right. We'll split it. Yeah, that seems fair. So
you do me a deal and roll me into that taxi, will you, good lad? Oh, Jesus. Oh, you're going to get it tonight.
I've never had any fella turn me down now because of my ability to eat 2 meals after a night out.
It probably...
And the day it happens, I know that man is not for me, so it's all good, actually.
Yeah, it probably entices some boys. Just like, here's a woman I can be comfortable around.
Yeah.
Because she's very comfortable around me.
Yeah. I think I scare men. I think that's my problem. I scare a lot of them by that very thing. They're like, oh, she's too comfortable around me.
I'd say that's maybe the 4th scariest thing about you.
All right, top 4 scary things about Justine. Number 1. God, that's a tough one. I think I've had an issue with lads where they are a bit like intimidated by the fact I do comedy.
Right.
That's a horrible one.
I've a lot of very funny female friends, even like who don't do comedy.
I know what you mean, yeah.
But they're just very funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've had a history of like just insecure lads.
It's horrible.
Who are just like, oh, you made all my friends laugh. She was like, yeah, was that not cool? I was like, yeah, we just sort of like,
no, genuinely,
I didn't get many laughs tonight.
I had that.
It's like, write better jokes, motherfucker.
Yeah. It's like suddenly I'm dating an open micer. I'm like, lad, come on now. But
I'll give you a tight 7 later on.
But that hour's going to get it. Hey.
Flash the lights when I'm nearly done. Just flash the light. 2 minutes to go there, good lad.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Jesus, there was one fella in particular I couldn't get over because his friends adored me. Like, I was so funny. And he could not deal with the fact that they thought I was hilarious. Like,
that's shite.
Ruined him, like.
Yeah.
And it's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, that's insecurity.
That's grim, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should be delighted.
Now, he loved the fact that I ate 2 meals on a night out. Loved that. So you're like, how are you okay with that?
You still dating 2 meal Justine? I am, yeah. But she's very funny. I'm going to have to let her go.
She's a little too funny. It's grim. It's so tragic.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's probably an issue. And I've had history dating people that are kind of musicians or, you know, in entertainment in some way. And I think they might be a bit intimidated as well that I would be getting gigs and maybe they'd be trying to get gigs and they weren't getting gigs.
Right. Yeah. Who books that?
Yeah. I'm like, well, we're not in the same field here. You're trying to do music. I'm doing jokes.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm not sure we're meant to be doing the same gigs.
It's not like you're fucking getting booked in Jules Holland.
No,
Like,
exactly.
You're doing the fucking
the Jesus Christ. Yeah.
you're doing the Cat Laughs Festival.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to want a musician.
Yeah. As well, thing about musicians is, for men and women, as soon as you see somebody playing an instrument, they're maybe 45% hotter.
Oh no, it's my kryptonite. And I'm honestly struggling. I'm trying to stop myself dating musicians because they're not good for me. They're really not good for me.
Yeah. Anytime I see a musician,
Stop.
it's just like
Guitar or keyboard or piano, like they're my two. Guitar.
Really?
Oh, drums.
For me, it's female bass players.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Female bass players,
Jesus
just
Christ.
so fucking hot.
Class. There's something about a man playing the piano. Mother of Christ.
Is it the big stretch in his hands?
Do you know, I think it's like, I'm like, oh my God, you're cultured or something.
Yeah, I see what
Because
you mean.
guitar is kind of something that like,
Yeah.
and I tried to learn piano, I was like, this is difficult. My God, this is really hard. I wish my parents never made me do anything, which I should be delighted about, but I kind of wish they'd made me do piano as a kid. Because
Mine made me do piano as a kid, and I hated it.
That's the fear, you'd get the resentment for it.
And I told my mum, I was like, because my teacher used to like just sort of hit my hands with a pencil if I was doing it wrong, just like little taps.
Kevin, no.
And I told my mum, I was like, she's beating me, mother. She was like, what? I was like, she hits me with a stick. And she was like, are you serious, Kevin? I was like, I swear to God, this is the truth. She hits me with a piece of wood, which was technically true.
Technically.
It was a little pencil, Justine. And she was like, okay, we won't make you go anymore.
Oh my. You were a devil for lying, weren't you?
Yeah.
That's a real problem you had.
Yeah, I was a little lion boy.
Yeah.
Just get out of any situation.
Shocking. You could have signed me up to do that now.
There's a little girl in Knob I'd love to do piano lessons.
I went to try and learn during COVID, and it was the most embarrassing thing in my life because the person going in before me was a 4-year-old, as was the person in afterwards. And then the teacher ended up asking me one day, do you want to join our summer camp? I was 29 years old. I'm like, no, Susan, I don't think I'm going to come to this summer camp.
Listen, I need a sheet from your mother to say it's okay. We're going to be going on a bus to the summer camp.
We were learning Old MacDonald. I'm like, Anna, come on, you know.
Well, see, that's what annoyed me is like if they'd played songs that I liked, like even Beatles songs, some of them were quite simple on the piano.
Yeah.
But it's always like Good King Wenceslas and
I know.
Old MacDonald.
Yeah.
I feel like if there was some simple rock and roll songs, I would have learned
I was trying to
better.
learn some now from La La Land. And especially I was inspired because Ryan Gosling obviously learned from scratch the piano for that movie. But then
That's
also,
crazy.
But then also he has access to the best, resources there.
Yeah.
Sounds like me going, or are you getting the belt of a stick? Apparently. He's not getting that.
Yeah.
But I would, because that gives me inspiration of like, oh, it's possible to do it. I've never committed to it long enough. But my God, when a fella starts playing the fucking piano, Jesus, it does things to me, Kevin.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Or singing, if they can sing well. My
yeah,
God.
good singer. I think it's a musician thing.
Yeah,
it's
no, totally.
Seeing somebody rock out on
I
stage.
have to stop. And it's so funny because my friend, she's like, no, that's the biggest ick to me if they're like a musician, or the idea that they would take out a guitar at a party. And I'm like, no.
Well, see, okay, guitar at a party, not sexy. Guitar on stage, very sexy.
Guitar at a party is sexy if the whole room's like, shh, no, wait, look, he rarely does this. And then he has the most stunning voice. I'm like,
no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's commanding. I suppose it's commanding an audience, I suppose, maybe. Yeah. No, guitar at a party, I think, looks vain.
Yeah, true.
Guitar on stage is like, that's their job.
Yeah.
But when's the last time you saw a girl play guitar at a party? It's always lads.
Oh, yeah, no, it is.
Because girls have self-worth and they don't need to fucking show off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
no, that's... I'm working on it. I deleted all the apps. I'm not on them anymore. And then the funniest thing, I was out at the weekend and suddenly my period tracker started messaging me. And I'm like, really?
Beep, beep.
It was just like, how's your period going? Like, your breasts might be sensitive today. It's never done this. And I'm like, I've had it 2 years. And I'm like, are you just trying to fill the gap now that I'm not on the apps anymore? That you're like, I'll chat you up.
Does it say it out loud like a speaker? Like, Justine, your period is imminent. Move away from Justine.
No, it doesn't, thankfully. But I was like getting messages off and I'm like, it has never, ever, ever done this before.
What? Well, the period tracker So like that's just you check in on it to see what's going on.
I don't do it. It's just like it'll tell you, it'll calculate your length of your cycle or, time a month.
But it's never sent you messages before.
Never. And now it's suddenly
Now
texting
it's
me.
notifications.
It's
wow.
DMing me.
Okay.
And I'm like, is this literally to fill the gap of I'm not on the apps anymore? Because I couldn't do it. I just can't. Can't have the same conversation over and over again. And then it goes nowhere. It's just like, I don't know where I'm going to meet someone, but...
Well, look, this brings us nicely on to the next part of the show. Let's get a nice fella for Justine. If you're a nice fella at home and you're listening to this and you like the sound of Justine, and if you're watching it on the YouTube, maybe you like the look of her as well. So send us in a CV, full sexual history report. I want an STI check as well.
Like, that is essential. And I don't mind on a date. I'll say to
a photo of your face,
Yes.
your hands, and your lad.
The triple threat there now. I want to see your hands on a keyboard.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Making a chord, not just like fucking
No,
that
not
piano
just
cat.
lunacy. Yeah, come on. Someone would pause. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm into this.
Yeah.
No, it's tough. It's tough out there. I need the break from it because it's just not good.
Well, it's like finding your keys. You'll only find them when you're not looking for them.
This is the truth. Now, come here. How does my festival at the weekend compare to yours?
Oh.
You're at a comedy festival.
I was at a comedy festival. Very, very different. I was down at Cat Laughs. It was great crack.
I know they're lovely. Like, it's one of those festivals you go home to your own bed or a hotel. It's not like in a fucking tent class.
Oh, see, yeah, you're going home to a lovely hotel.
Oh, nothing better. And a breakfast the next morning.
A big old dirty breakfast the next morning.
My God.
I do love comedy festivals.
Oh no, absolutely. Like ones that are not just, doing comedy at a tent in a music festival.
Yeah.
I love a die-hard comedy one. You're like, yes.
The people down there at Kilkenny are lovely. There was one lad, I had one weird incident. I had a class gig and I was so happy with how I did. And like the organizer was there and the woman who books the acts are there. My agents were all there. All my peers were watching me and they were like, oh, that was brilliant. You destroyed the room. And I felt so good. I went into like the artist bar after and this lad from Cork who looked like, he moved equipment for E17. Like he wore like all white, like a big silver chain, like a bad haircut and a bad beard. And he was like, oh, Kevin Garn, how's it going? Geez, yeah, you were in the panel show, weren't you? And I was like, oh yeah. And he goes, oh, you were brilliant on it, you're brilliant. He goes, where'd you go? And I was like, huh? And he goes, where'd you go? And I was like, oh, just like I'm here, man. What are you asking me? He's just like, oh yeah, I know. Oh, it was just, the show was great. Where'd you go? And he just kept saying, where'd you go? And I was like, oh, there's not many, shows on in RT, I'm just here, man. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, trying to get away. And he goes, yeah, where'd you go though, man?
Jeez, he thinks you're Cotton Eye fucking Joe. Where'd you come from? Where'd you go?
But it really made me like momentarily insecure. I was like, yeah, where did I go?
Oh my God.
Where did I go, Cotton Eye Joe?
That man was actually just an illusion. It was just your subconscious.
I spoke to one of the organisers and he was like, oh, was it a guy looking like this and this? And I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, he's a fucking dose. He just comes up every year to hang out in the artist bar to just annoy comedians. But
you have that. You do have that.
What?
That happen.
Oh, you have those lads?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do. It's funny because you were talking about last week, the idea of, when someone's around and you're like, okay, now
how do I get away from this lad?
Now's the time.
How do you drop a dose?
Yeah. Well, it's good that the gigs went well. Was it? It was a full weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was for Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Beautiful.
In and out.
God, I love hanging around with comedians. There's nothing better.
Yeah, it's great crack.
It is. And at a festival whereby it's not a tent where the bleed of other music is coming in.
Yeah.
It's nice when the audience
bleed
can
of
hear.
Other jokes.
It's nice when people can hear the jokes on stage. That's always...
I do remember going to a gig once. I think it was in Edinburgh. And because in Edinburgh they put gigs absolutely everywhere. In phone boxes, in toilets, everywhere. And I was at the gig and you could hear the gig next door getting bigger laughs. And the comedian on stage was just like, oh God, that sounds like fun over there, doesn't it? And it was so fucking awkward.
So destroying. Yeah. I could never. Jesus Christ.
Felt so bad for him.
That's like, oh, well, God, it was a long time ago now. I remember having like a fella back in, a boyfriend, like, when I was in college, and we were in my room, and Jesus, my housemate was having a wonderful time.
Oh.
And we were just there cuddling, being like, it is. You're like, Oh, sounds like they're having a good time.
It's building up to a closer here now. Oh, there's a call.
I lost him a bit there.
It's call back.
There's a call back. Oh my God.
Oh, he's doing crowd work. Are you a couple? That was kissing boobs.
Lord.
Lovely stuff.
So my friend is getting married, and we're trying to plan his stag
Like a real
party.
wedding or the mock wedding?
A real wedding. And we're planning his stag. He's a playwright
Oh, wow.
and a Gael Gore. So we want to do something sort of theatrical.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was thinking we arrive over to one of the small islands, like a tiny island on the west coast of Ireland, and we say to like a local pub, like we're having a birthday party for Father Mackin, and it's going to be a lot of priests there, obviously, and we just all arrive overdressed as priests and pretend to be
Wow.
priests for the weekend. Because there's something about when you're in a costume, you
Yeah.
act
Commit.
madder
Yeah.
than you normally
To the
act.
bit.
And I just want to have 20 priests going fucking mad.
That would be amazing. I think it'd be the type of thing your friend would adore also if he's a playwright and into that kind of world of theatre.
And I'm not, I'm not like, the lads have to commit. I don't want to see like,
No.
I don't want to see beards or trendy haircuts. We have to look like priests.
Yeah,
like we have
yeah.
to clean shaven, get a
Just looks
nice
fantastic, man.
tidy haircut, black shoes, black socks.
Oh, that's
no,
fantastic.
Yeah, no fucking Umbro bags. I want like a
No. This is
conservative.
legit, like.
Yeah, and we take it very seriously.
And because here's the thing, you want, the next week when you leave, the talk at that island
I want
is,
the talk then to be a bunch of fucking mad priests.
you want a
who are up here.
journalist, you want a podcast series off the back of this of like
Yeah.
someone going around interviewing locals who are like, and I remember the night they all came in. My Jesus.
What? Just who was Father Mackin? And why was he going so mad?
I want this series. You're talking about a stag there. I'm going to end up having a stag. Like, majority of my friends
Or
are
dudes.
lads. But you have to find an activity. Yeah, we were talking about this before, actually. Doesn't matter.
No, I think you're talking about an activity that pleases all.
Yeah. Like
There's loads of stuff you can do.
I want my friend Brian to be the flower girl at my wedding. He's going to hand out
That's
cans.
nice. Oh, that's
He's
lovely.
paranoid, by the way, about you because he's like, I think I ruined it with Kevin. Because he lifted you up at the end of the night and he regrets it hugely.
He lifted me up and regrets it. Why?
He thinks he ruined
He hurt his
it.
back.
I think he was worried he hurt your back, actually.
No.
That's good. I really showed
To
him.
be
I was
honest, I
like,
totally forgot that he lifted me up.
there you go. That's what I said to him. I was like, I don't think he'll even remember.
I
Brian,
wouldn't
but
give
he
a
was,
shit.
I know he was paranoid because you're a big deal to him. Like,
Oh, wow. Thanks very much,
Yeah,
Brian.
nice.
Hope you're listening. No, I thought he was a lovely fella.
it was the funniest thing
No,
that
do
you
you
were
know-
like, you heard a Nobber accent, and you're like, Justine, there's someone over there from Nobber, as though just in the wild by chance.
I thought it was a knobber in the wild. I was like, oh my God, Justine, there's a guy over there who sounds exactly like you. And you're like, oh, that's my friend Brian. So that's Brian from down the road. So
Now I'm like Stitch in Lilo and Stitch. Yes, yes,
he's buying a few lotto tickets today.
Jesus, that is dirty.
I'm doing a selection for the football pitch. Also, the pitch is in shite, so there's no fucking drainage in that field. I told them, you're building it in a hollow. You're as well building it on the hill, so the water run off it.
Do you know what the best is?
I like the
though?
idea of Stitch selling lotto tickets in Nobber.
And I don't know why, but he's holding a push bike. He's just holding a bike in a basket with the lotto tickets in the middle of the pub.
Yeah, so the stag, I think don't overthink it. I think we've got to a stage where like guys and girls can go on the same
Thing
stag
is, I've still been trying to plan a delayed 30th because I was 30 in January, which is just too depressing of a month to have a birthday. So I was thinking of doing a summer number, and I wanted to have a bouncy castle. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Because I never got to have one as a kid because we live on a hill. But I don't know where in Dublin you can rent a venue that will allow a bouncy castle. I got onto different like Airbnbs, which obviously wouldn't be. They think I'm having a laugh at them when I'm like, would you mind if I had a bouncy castle in the
Yeah.
back? And they're like, you're 30 years old. I'm like, no, but this is what I want. Also, then they think there's going to be a party house. I'm not going to lend them it for the day.
Do you know what? The insurance would be fucking mental.
Yeah.
For your stag, there's a number of things you could do. Paintballing, go-karting, I did clay pigeon shooting for mine.
I don't like the idea of that.
Guns. Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go-karting's go crack.
Go-karting's good, but again, I just feel like go-karting's a thing I could do any day of the week.
What the fuck do you want? What are you thinking like?
An experience that's never going to be... Like, that priest thing is great, because that's something no one's going to be doing of a regular weekend.
Yeah, it's true. It's a lot of commitment.
Clay pigeon, to me, is very man.
It is very dudish. Yeah.
I need to figure it out now. I don't know what the hell I'll do.
There's sometimes you hear of girls doing nudie painting.
Yeah, I've heard of disaster stories of that, where they were hammered and went up and touched the person. Yeah.
Can't do that
and
anymore.
then they ended up
in court.
Yeah, but then the lad they were painting ended up on a horse in the pub later that night.
What?
Yeah.
So he recovered fine.
I don't know if he went back to being the nude model anymore after that night.
What if you just did a load of mushrooms?
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 o'clock guys, we're going to meet up, we're going to do some mushrooms.
Yeah, and then as the night goes on, basically, like, some people will end up go-karting, some people will end up clay pigeon
some people
shooting
end
in
up
their
on
heads.
horses.
Yeah.
Naked on a horse.
100%. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you like doing best? What's your favourite thing to do?
That's a great question.
What about zorbing? You know, where you get inside the big ball, like a little gerbil.
I love a ball pit.
I mean, so far your 2 things you've suggested are things that 5-year-old children like. I love a ball pit and a bouncy castle.
And I'd love a big wheel.
What about face painting?
I love a big wheel that you spin, like winning streak. That, like, there's like penalties or prizes to be won.
Oh, that's good.
I want a festival.
What about erotic face painting? And no matter what everyone asks, they just draw a knob.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you want? Sonic the Hedgehog? Yeah, great. Big pair of balls here.
Well, I want someone there doing caricatures for everyone. There's a lot of things I want now. But I wouldn't mind going away, but then you're not going to convince everyone to go away.
No, you're not.
Out of the country. Like, I want to go to Vegas.
You want to go to Vegas? Who the fuck do you think you are? Zuckerberg.
But I can dream, because I'm never going to get married, because
Jordan
I'm so
Belfort.
desperately alone. It's not going to happen. So I can just dream it.
Lovely stuff.
Wasn't that lovely altogether?
That was lovely stuff.
Great.
Thank you very much for listening to another episode of The Lovely
Lovely
Show.
Show.
Thank you, Justine.
Thank you, Kevin.
Hey, we'll see you next time.
Go on. Good luck.
I tell you what, though, folks, that's bloody nice. That is bloody lovely.
Lovely home. Lovely touch. Lovely home. Lovely touch.
This show is part of the HeadStuff Podcast Network, a hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with HeadStuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.